Hello and welcome back to the MSBaithak podcast. I'm your host Didi, and joining me today once again is my friend and your co-host Vedant. On this episode, we'll be talking about the Mid Ohio Indycar GP. So let's grab some chai, take our seats, ready your opinions, and dive right into the conversation. Vedant, Scott McLaughlin is back on the top step.
It's
The man
incredible.
from down under,
Yeah.
the man from down under is back at it once again. Uh, all the hype was with Scott McLaughlin after the start he had to the season, and we were all rooting for him to just continue that crazy streak, similar to what he has done before in the Aussie Supercars. But to have him back on the top step was absolutely great. Hopefully, he will get himself back, not only back into the title contention, but give his old teammates, Joseph Newgarden, who's been at Penske, and especially Will Power, who's an IndyCar veteran, a hard time as the season comes to an end, and really give them a run for their money and their seat moving forward at Penske. But never in doubt, Scott McLaughlin, he's already had a better season than he had last year, which was his rookie season, and there's still so many more races to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And to, get back on winning ways when his parents were visiting from New Zealand was incredible. So, I mean, it must have felt good. It must have felt good, definitely. So, yeah, it's great to see Scott McLaughlin back winning. Of course, he's a long way from the championship fight. He's uh, I don't know, some 80 or 100 points or something like that behind. But
He's 70 points behind at the moment.
yeah, but it's IndyCar. Anything can happen in a matter of couple of races. So yeah, it's let's see how that goes.
Yep, Will Power, and yeah, obviously the second thing, Will Power, his teammate, for the second race in a row, comes back from, well, last time he was through the mid pack, but this time comes from the very back of the field to finish P3. Clearly, the Penske team have the road courses and the street courses down to a T. We've seen Team Penske score a lot of points at these road courses, and Will Power showing once again how his new temperament and approach to racing is really shaping the season for him as he mounts on the title challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, Willpower. Once
And
again,
and the first reason, the very reason he spun out was because he made not an erratic move, but a more difficult move than usual. Not as a temperamental move right at the start. And
yeah,
once he got back into the race, kept the car going, he was back to his old calm self that he has been for the last few months.
yeah, not old calm self, new calm self.
Yeah, new
But
calm self. Sorry, yeah, that's correct. Yeah,
but
that's correct.
but I mean, I think like like Carlos Sainz used to say back in his McLaren days, willpower right now is a very smooth operator, and you never see him coming, but he's performing in and weekend out, and he is just getting everything out of that Penske, and you know he's not lighting up any fireworks or anything. He's just staying right behind the championship leaders every single weekend, and just waiting for the right moment to pounce and take the championship away. And I won't be surprised if it happens in the penultimate round of the season and we see the original old willpower back.
No, no, no. That old Willpower is clearly on the shelf for this season. He might be back once Willpower wins, if he wins this season,
Yep.
or if he does not win this season. You just never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, clearly. However, Pat O'Ward had a great chance to take the race away this weekend, but the Chevy engines just had a bad day overall. Especially with the McLarens, as both the McLarens retired with a smoldering car. Unfortunately, Pato what could have been leading the championship, I believe. Maybe no, that might be a big reach, but he could have been up there, and he clearly had the pace, but just didn't work out for him. However, the biggest story for me was what happened with Andretti, especially between Alex Rossi and Roman Grosjean. Now, Just to make it clear, when you look at it first, for those who just watch the highlights and stuff, it seems like Alexander Rossi run Roman Grosjean off the road after having first made contact a few laps ago, or a lap ago. But after rewatching it, I think from the onboard, it seems that Alex Rossi, his hand is knocked off the steering wheel, and by the time he catches the steering wheel, he's already on the grass, and it's too late to turn the car around. And which is why he's able to rescue his car, but it's too late for Grosjean, who's on the other side of him. But definitely a spicy moment until you saw that replay. And even when I was rewatching the highlights, it seemed, oh my god, why did this happen until they showed the onboard?
Yeah, I mean, it was. See, we have seen a lot of infighting at Andretti this season, and sure, you can say that this was whatever incident, and it was not Alex Rossi's fault completely, right? Or whatever. But I think the amount of infighting going on at Andretti, I think we also saw Colton Herta fighting with Roman Grosjean a little bit, and Colton Herta again, not his best seasons going on. He did get win at the GMR Grand Prix, but still not the best of his seasons. So I think Andretti need to sort things out. Of course, Alex Rossi is out next season, and we have Kyle Kirkwood coming in. But Kyle Kirkwood would be trying, like he would be hoping that, see, I'm coming into a place where there is chaos. I can make the best of it, and rise above these two drivers who are fighting amongst themselves, and establish myself at this team. But in that process, Kyle Kirkwood might also get involved in those fights. So I think Andretti needs to sort things out among his drivers. Michael Andretti has a big job now. A bigger job now. Bigger job now, in fact.
Yeah, absolutely. Not to forget though, Alex Palou, our defending IndyCar champion, he is still in the hunt, so don't forget about him. He might have had a few quiet weekends after a disappointing Indy 500, but that doesn't mean he wasn't on the podium. He did finish second and is currently fourth in the championship standings, only I think 35 points behind Marcus Ericsson, which is pocket change in IndyCar. Let's just put it that way, and no big deal. But I also want to point out, Christian Lundgaard again coming home with some decent points. He was not the leading rookie this weekend. That was David Malukas in 9th place, but Christian Lundgaard finishing in 11th place, taking 19 points, and remains the rookie of the season so far in terms of points itself. I think he's currently 17th in the championship at 159 points, about 150 55 something points behind the championship leader. But nonetheless, Christian Lundgaard has been really consistent throughout the course of the season. If you look back at his points, if you look at the points he's picked up so far this season, let me just pull it up here: 19, 11, 12, 15, 22, 24, 16, 21, 19. So he's always picking up points, which is a great thing, and that is something that we know that anyone who wants to challenge to be an IndyCar champion needs, and that is consistency.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we knew Christian Lundgaard from his Formula 2 days, and we knew that he was one of those calm and consistent performers over the course of the season. He had a miserable couple of seasons, like he had difficult couple of seasons towards the end of his career in Formula 2, but I think the way he drives, his temperament are suited very well for for IndyCar, and I think it's going to take him places. And if seats open up at teams like Ganassi and Penske, there might be a chance that Christian Lundgaard gets one of those seats, not next year, not in a couple of years time, but in maybe 5 years time, if he keeps going at it like he's right now.
Yeah, and the only difference between Christian Lundgaard and all the other rookies this season is that Christian Lundgaard has never scored in single digits. He's always scored in double digits, and that is the only difference between him being in 17th place in the championship, compared to David Malukas, WD Francesco, and Kyle Kakut and Callum Mallet being 19th, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th respectively. And then obviously you have Dalton Cullerton, Tatiana Calderon, who are much further back in the championship. But clearly he's bringing home good points every race, which is so important in IndyCar. Um, Anything else from you, Vedant, before we wrap up this podcast?
Yeah, well, no, I mean, I could not catch the race, so I was reliable. I relied only on the highlights, and since we don't have any streaming here, so I could not rewatch the race again as well. So yeah, nothing to add from my side as such.
Well, that was a very short recap, but we'll continue to cover the IndyCar content as the season goes on. And as always, we'll catch you on the next one. Thank you, Vedant, for joining me once again.